All right, so we're getting ready for the Dash for Cash. This is the kickoff to the demo portion for the Very Best Fall Shootout. And for those folks watching on Tim's Corner TV, the vehicle that you see right now is Demolition Dylan Langell, part of the Tim's Corner TV family, all the way from Bridgewater, Nova Scotia. And if you would look closely on the hood of Dylan's vehicle, there's sponsors taped to the hood. So we appreciate his support.
The sweet sounds of John O'Shea's voice, and you'll get to hear it Saturday at Speedway Miramichi. Welcome in to Tim's Corner Live. This is technically episode number 7. It's our first Thursday night show, and we're here to preview the Easter Bunny Bash, Winter Demolition, Tim Terry, Denver Matchett, and Demo Dylan Langell, who we just saw coming in from that. It's been a while since your first experience. You ready for another one?
I think so. It would be nice to race this Saturday because weirdly enough, I'm picking up a junker car from a buddy of mine to give to one of my brothers. And I said, well, just make it a demolition car and break the rules and go to Miramichi or something. But you never know when it'll happen.
Well, when he's done with the car, you can still use it because if the bubble opens like it's supposed to on April 19th, it's going to be a good time. And we'll be up in Miramichi on May 15th. We can't be there physically with Tim's Corner Motorsports. Myself and Dylan are stuck in Nova Scotia because of the border. But Denver, you guys are going to have some fun this weekend.
We are going to have a lot of fun. Excited, but a little nervous. You know, we've been spending the week watching the weather. We'll get to that later on, but either way, it's going to be fun. Whatever conditions are thrown at these drivers, it's the winter time. It's a winter demolition. They're going to have a lot to deal with. We call these guys the best demo drivers in the world. Speedway Miramichi is the demolition capital of Canada, but this has never been done before. We've never had a winter demolition. Now, Tim, you've got to experience some winter enduros at Sydney Speedway. Any insight into what we can expect this weekend?
I don't think so. I think the crew that you guys have is a lot different than the crew that Sydney has, and there's not knock on either, but these demolition guys and gals that we're going to see on Saturday, and we're going to talk to some here this evening, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing on the dry pavement. I can't wait to see what they're going to do on the either wet or the slick or the icy or whatever you want to bring it up to. But this is going to be fun. We've had a busy week on the stock car side of things. We're going to talk demolition tonight, but for those that might not know, we're going to start off with some big news tonight on the stock car side. Wayne Smith's going racing again this weekend, going to race at Auburndale Speedway, going to be the Wheelman Sportsman Division, 50 laps. He told me that earlier today, and I asked him, can I spill it on the show the first thing tonight? And he said, absolutely. So watch for that. Wayne's going racing one more time. I think he's coming back in a week or two.
Let's hope the officials don't screw him over this time.
Well, it's
Ricky Brooks going to be there? He is?
I don't know if he's going to be. Auburndale is where he was for Winter National, so don't know who the Wheelman Series has working that, but Wayne's going to be in the Z2 one more time. So
awesome.
We got some busy stuff coming up. The Icebreaker Enduro, the Sonners were supposed to open this week. I think we're going to open them next week. Heart of a Champion Hot Rod Classics, Dylan, schedule coming out.
Yeah, pretty exciting. So we got 6 races this year. We're going to kick off during the Riverglade weekend at Petty, which is happening in the middle of July now, so a little earlier. And then we're going to be at Riverside twice and Scotia Speed World during the 250 weekend. We're back going to close the season at Petty during the Mike Stevens weekend. But we're really hoping, fingers crossed, the Atlantic Bubble comes and stays. First time landing at Oyster Bed coming up this summer during the Pro Stock weekend, July 31st, which I'm stoked for. That's a track I've not been to. And for any fans that are wondering, well, what does Tim and myself mean about this Hot Rod series? It's the Hot Rod Classics brought to you by NTN Bearings through Heart of a Champion. Give them a like on Facebook. You're going to see all kinds of great content from them celebrating Atlantic Canadian and Canadian racing history. But this series, we're taking older cars and bringing new life to them. And there's a lot of sweet hot rods coming up this year.
And some older drivers. I saw this week that Stacy Clemens is coming back to race. I grew up watching Stacy race a sportsman car. Got to call him a couple of times on Pro Stock races. So really excited for that. Brian Northrup, obviously Cy Harvey was there last year. Yep. List goes on and on. Going to be a great series. And you can check out their schedule now. There's only one schedule that's not out right now, and it's Scotia Speed World. So we await the folks from Halifax to get their schedule out. Our master schedule should be up on the website sometime this weekend, so you can plan your season if you haven't already. But we're getting ready to go demolition racing. We've got a Monday show coming up, but before we get to that Monday show with Rick Cashel and Randy Miller, Denver, we got some demolition to take care of, and you got some guests here, so let's kick this off.
Absolutely, Tim. You're going to be on the button, so for our first guest coming up, it's the driver of the 666, Norm Robichaud. So send some messages. Let's keep Tim busy tonight. Usually he's on the screen the whole time, but that's not going to be the case tonight. So get on there. We're live, we're interactive, and smash that share button, just like these drivers will be smashing their cars. And one of those drivers will be Norm Robichaud, driver of car number 666. He's been no stranger to racing across Canada, but a relatively a newcomer, I should say, to Speedway Miramichi. He just came on the scene in 2019 and had some rough luck last year, but he finished the year off strong with some checkered flags at the Halloween Spooktacular. He's going to be in
Hey, Denver.
Saturday. Yeah, Tim?
We need to get Norm to start his camera.
There we go.
There we are. We're good to go.
Norm, welcome
to the camera, guys.
Welcome to TCM Live. We're previewing the Easter Bunny Bash. How are you tonight? We know that you had to rearrange your schedule to be on the show tonight, so we appreciate that.
Oh, I'm playing hooky from work, so thank you guys for letting me stay home.
Well, we appreciate you being on the show and being willing to take part in this. So let's get right down to business. Easter Bunny Bash this weekend. Remind me, because I know we've talked about it before, but these fans probably don't know. Have you raced in the snow before?
I have done some snow races. I've done the Winter Rally in Quebec. It was a little different. We're not allowed to crash there. I'm looking forward to wrecking.
Well, that should give you a bit of an advantage. So, but Easter Bunny Bash, it's a Winter Demolition. It's a two-part finale, actually, a 50-lap enduro followed by a demolition. What do you expect for this weekend?
Same thing we get all summer. I'm expecting a bunch of crazy guys who think they can drive but cannot. We're going to be slip sliding everywhere as everybody's going to be wrecking.
So you take your experience in the snow. Does that make you the favorite? You have an advantage.
I wouldn't call it an advantage because, like it or not, we're driving these beat up $200 cars. If I can keep it on the track, I'll have that advantage. It's going to come down to luck more than anything.
Absolutely. You know, it's going to be wild. There's going to be some snow. There's going to be some ice. There's going to be some mud. We got some preliminary races too. Some to qualify. Dash for Cash, Powder Puff race. Bump to Pass is coming back. Is there any one of those races you're most looking forward to before we get into the big finale on Saturday?
Well, I hate the Dash for Cash because every time I do it, bad luck. Miramichi has this big monkey on my back that won't get off when it comes to Dash for Cash. But I'm looking forward to overcoming that. But the backup race, I'm a big fan of reverse.
We've seen that before. You were actually, I think you were leading at one of the backup races last year before that bad luck that you had all season long kind of bit you. But let's talk about last season because you really did have some tough luck. A lot of would have, a lot of could have, a lot of should haves. Looking back at 2020, how was that as a whole for you? I know you battled the bad luck, but what do you remember most from 2020?
Well, 2020 in Miramichi it's been something I want to forget. From turn 4, the first lap of the first race, I got pushed. I believe Jacob Smith pushed me into the wall in turn 4. I spun out, hit Roussell, totaled my car. So drove an hour and a half, paid the entry fee, didn't even do a lap. From then on, just one bad luck after another, busted tires. Anything that could mess up has messed up.
That was certainly the story of your season, unfortunately. But hey, you finished it strong. Let's take a look back to that Halloween Spooktacular event in October. That event wasn't even on the calendar, but we threw it in last minute after a successful season from the track's point of view. And you had a pretty good day that day.
Yeah, I was motivated that day. It was a matter of I got to get that monkey off my back. And I believe the pumpkin race, whoever was next to me whipped their pumpkin through my windshield and I couldn't see a thing. That pissed me off to the point I had to prove a point to that point.
You certainly put that car up front. And then I think it was the figure 8 race. You also took the checkered flag in that day, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. I led the figure 8. And figure 8 has been my go-to race since I started Miramichi in 2019. I'm always one of the top cars, but always something messing up. And I was happy to finally get that figure 8 win.
You see on the screen some action from one of our figure 8 races last year. Now, given the situation with snow and ice and mud, there's no guarantees about a figure eight race, but I know I was talking to Barry earlier, and depending on how the weather cooperates and the snow mud situation is, you never know. We always say the format is subject to change, and I know there's a lot of people would love to see another figure eight race, but we'll have to see how things work out over the next couple days. But yeah, so Easter Bunny Bash, we put out a preview on the website this afternoon. There's a lot of big names on the list. We were expecting probably 20 to 30 cars. Is there any driver you have your eye on who's going to be tough to beat on Saturday?
Well, it's coming into this season. I'm hoping we have all the other season vets. And, I started Miramichi in 2019 when Kevin Tucker was champ. And I think I was itching at him because I was always directly behind him. So who's this new kid coming up behind me the whole time? So he didn't do much demo last year. I'm hoping to see Kevin back on the track.
Absolutely. Kevin is probably one of the greatest drivers of all time at Speedway Miramichi, particularly in the demolition. He's got he finally got that championship in 19, but a lot of wins before that, and he always shows up with those big cars that are tough to beat.
Yes.
Denver, can I hop in quickly just to dial back? You're talking about the figure eight race and saying you're not sure about the mud and stuff. When I raced in the figure eight race at the Day of Eights, the infield was muddy. I got a bunch of stuff. I got stuff splashed up in my windshield. My wipers weren't working, so I was sticking my head out partly to kind of see and get around turn 3 and 4.
Well, listen, Dylan, the car you had, or I should say the van you had, that had some experience with some mud prior to you getting behind the wheel.
Yeah, from what I hear, I watched a video of someone doing a burnout in that big pit there in between turn 3 and 4. So, and we had to beat the starter and everything just to start the van because it was just like caked in mud. Norm, you're mentioning about the figure eight race. So would you say that's your favorite event usually with the Miramichi races, or is that the one you do the best at?
Well, I'll tell you why. First went to Speedway Miramichi at the 2019 Kids Day event, and I didn't know there was a figure eight track in New Brunswick, period. So as soon as I saw people doing that, I said, I got to give this a go. I've been watching it on YouTube in the States for years, and I've been wanting to do that. And it's nerve-wracking. I'm sure the first time you've done it, you're crapping yourself going through that X, weren't you?
Well, yeah. So I mean, we were probably in the same race, and I had a dumpy van that could barely go fast. But with me being at the back and being a bit slower, my strategy was being careful going through the X because I could see all the faster cars coming. And there was one, and Denver knows this, that I waited until the last possible second and went, and the car right behind me got T-boned in the intersection there. So, what's your strategy there coming out of the corners? There's a little bit though, because you can either just floor it or you got to kind of pace yourself. Well, what do you do typically?
I fly around those corners. I drift my car and try to get as sideways as I can. When I get to that X, I close my eyes. There's no brakes. There's no eyes. If you're there, sorry. I believe the first lap last year, I took out, I believe it was, no, I don't remember what car it was, but I took somebody out the first lap around.
Have you been hit in the intersection?
Not yet. I've been lucky. It came really close. Riley Harris clipped my bumper last year. That was it.
So Norm, you said that, you try to avoid the Dash for Cash. Dylan here made his debut in the Dash for Cash. So would you suggest that for any future drivers, maybe, is that a wise thing to just hop right into the Dash for Cash, or maybe wait and try the backup race or the figure eight race first?
Go ahead, Norm. No.
My first race I did was the Dash for Cash, and I finished second place. I'd never done the demo races, but I was careful. And the more experience I'm getting, the cockier I'm getting, the more the wrecks aren't scaring me, and the more I'm totaling my cars.
Yeah, for me, if I could do it over again, I probably would have done the kidney racer or maybe a backup race first, because that Dash for Cash was wild, and I started at the back of the field, and I mean, I was in a cloud of smoke almost instantly with cars already wrecking on the front stretch. So for a rookie driver, I mean, if you just want to go for the experience, I had a goal to do the figure eight race. I really wanted to do that one, like you, Norm. Like, that's a race I've played video games doing the figure eight racing and watched it on TV. So it's like, I got to do that one. And the Dash for Cash, you know what? That was just figured it would be kind of fun, and it was fun until my van overheated and died. But it's a hell of a deal. That's all I can pretty much say for it.
So Norm, let's talk about the car counts. You said you started back in 2019, and you look back to 2019 at Speedway Miramichi, we were getting about 20, 25 cars a race, sometimes even less than that. Going into 2020, things exploded. We had 40 in July, and then by September, we were at 67, and we stayed right around 60 the rest of the year. How does that change the game when all of a sudden the car count, the number of cars on the track has tripled?
Well, in my eyes, it goes from skill and experience to a good amount of luck. Where in 2019, I was doing figure eight races with 8 cars, and it would end up, there's a race where I finished second place, and it was Adam Plord, me, and Marc-André Benoit. That was it. You compare that to, winning a figure eight with 42 cars in it. It's ridiculous.
Yes, yeah, I think the fans saw quite some shows last year. We're not expecting quite that 40, 50, 60 mark on Saturday. Mind you, a lot of drivers like to hold their cards close to their chest and not register in advance. So you never know. I wouldn't count it out, but we're expecting somewhere in 20 to 30, which is still a wonderful field of cars. But given the snow, given the likelihood of not a 60 car field, still a good field though, that should really allow us to see who has the best skill when it comes to driving on the snow, who really adapts to it the best early on.
Exactly. And that'll have a lot to do with it. Miramichi's pretty notorious for the dirty track, and we're kind of used to slipping and sliding, but the ice and snow is gonna play a huge factor.
Absolutely. So let's take a step back now, Norm, because I know you're not originally, or you spent some time outside of the Maritimes. Maybe a lot of fans don't know who you are. Tell us about how you got your start into motorsports, because it's really quite an interesting story.
Well, really, I always wanted to do rally, and I saw it come up in Quebec. It's not something we have here in New Brunswick. So I was in Quebec, and I decided to do that in Trois-Rivières. And I did it for a year. And then the next year, I tried it in the summertime. I started in the winter. I tried the summer, and I wasn't a fan of that as much. But no, I love the fun part of the winter, the drifting, the skidding. And I never grew up around racing. It's not something I was really into, and I just wanted to give it a shot. And I'm kind of an adrenaline junkie. I love to have that blast.
So would you say that given your experience with rally cars and now in demolitions, that you would have basically no fear?
I'm pretty fearless when it comes to driving, unlike my passengers. No, I love going fast.
So you mentioned passengers. You alluded that your win came in the pumpkin race before. You had your passenger in the back seat for that. What did the passenger think of that race?
Well, she was going to sit in the front seat, and of course, my battery strapped to the front seat, so we didn't think that one through. And I didn't take the back seat out of that car, which is weird. It's the only car I've never taken the back seat out. So we said, screw it. And she was a soldier. She went through it. I think she said she had a sore neck afterwards from all the whipping going around drifting. And I didn't hit anybody in that race, luckily.
We considered maybe doing an egg race similar to a pumpkin race, but we figured given the situation with COVID and whatnot, probably best to give it a few more months before we put passengers in the cars. But that's always a fun race because it gives people who typically aren't behind the wheel driving a chance to get out on the track and really experience just how wild and crazy it gets out there.
Well, exactly. She's done my powder puff races, but I'm given my bad luck in Miramichi, I tell her, stay behind, go slow. If somebody goes to touch you, get the hell off the track. I want my car.
Absolutely. Now, Dylan, you had the opportunity to be a passenger in a race, not in Miramichi, but at Sydney. What happened there? Why didn't you take advantage of it?
Well, because, number one, look at the price of gas. Sydney is not.
That wasn't an excuse for me, though.
You got to lift with Greg Dow, though, probably. Anyways.
Yeah, but I wasn't driving with Craig Langell, so leave that out of there. Or Craig McKay, so leave that out of there.
No, if Sydney was closer, I would definitely think about it. But the problem in too is like, I'd rather be in control of the wheel than be a passenger. Like even sometimes when I'm driving with the girlfriend, I hope she's not listening to me, but she flies around sometimes and I'm holding on to holding onto the thing a little bit because she's flying around. So I'd rather be behind the wheel. So to be a passenger in a pumpkin race. So can I get this straightened? You're throwing pumpkins? Like, did I miss the memo on that? Like, people are throwing stuff at each other?
They are. You're not supposed to, but they were.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that. And then, like, with eggs, like, what are you going to do? Like, egg your opponent and throw them at the driver or something there, Denver?
It's all part of the fun, you know. It's the prize is supposed to be for whoever does the best job decorating, which is supposed to be the passenger's job. But we did the staff race last year, and it wasn't even a pumpkin race, but I still got a pumpkin thrown at the windshield in the staff race. And so apologies to Robert Legier because his car had a smashed windshield after that staff race.
But you still won.
I still won, and we still brought home the checkered flag, so that's all that matters, allegedly. And I hope Doug's watching because I wonder if he's still bitter about that one. But moving on, we'll forget about that. But Norm, I want to ask you this question now. Let's say that you don't have a car for one race, and we do a race where it's a passenger involved, whether it be a bag race, a pumpkin race. Is there any driver that you would not get in the car with?
Miky.
So we have him on the show later. So why would you not get in a car with Miky?
You just got to look at Miky. The guy, I love him to death. He's one of my best friends, but he's a psycho.
We saw him out there doing some jumps through the air. Miky's last year, his record at Speedway Miramichi, he either wrecked out in the dash for cash or he went through the air or junked it in the figure eight race. That was his record. Mind you, he always seemed to find another car. People maybe don't want to get in with him, but they would certainly give him their car.
They want the show.
They want the show, exactly. Speaking of that, you talk about the show. We saw lots of fans at the track last year. What's it mean to be putting on a show in front of all those fans?
That's a blast. And, I started an Instagram page for my race team, and I've been getting messages from people mostly about my cars because I go all out when it comes to decorating my cars as long as I have the time. And it's nice to hear, oh, my kids love seeing the Bumblebee car or whatever it was. And just the outpouring of people at these shows. It's ridiculous because I do Shediac as well. And I love the track in Shediac, but there's, 20 fans on any given day as opposed to hundreds and people getting turned away at the gate. It's awesome.
So, we see typically just Miramichi and Shediac that do demos. Sometimes PEI does them, sometimes Sydney does them, but is there any other track on your bucket list in Atlantic Canada outside of Miramichi and Shediac that you would like to hit, whether it be for a demo or something else that you would like to be a part of the action for?
Well, I've got my calendar planned out this season as long as COVID allows it. There's going to be 2 derbies in Petty that I definitely want to do because it's on the pave. There's going to be traction and some big hits. I'm looking forward to that. Oyster Bed, I've heard a lot of great things. So I'm looking forward to there. And I want to hit Sydney for sure.
I think with Petty, you got those high banks there. That really makes it fun.
That's why I want to do it.
Yeah. Miramichi's got a little bit of banking, especially in 1 and 2, not so much in 3 and 4. There's not a whole lot at the center for speed, but Petty, those high banks, I can only imagine in a demo car that would be wild, especially if you get turned going into quarter entry.
Exactly. Plus, you got the hills where the poles are. And I think we're doing an 80-lap full contact enduro, if I remember correct.
Oh.
It's like, for sure Mikey's hitting one of those hills.
Absolutely. Thank God we don't, we put a mud pit in the infield in Miramichi and he hit it.
Exactly.
So those light hills are pretty close to the track on the backstretch. So without a doubt, he will find a way to hit those.
If he doesn't get put into it, he's hitting it on purpose. I know it. I guarantee it. So
fans should go to Petty Raceway's website and mark their calendars now because they're going to see a show in Miramichi. They're going to see some shows in Shediac, and it sounds like Petty, very unique for a demo track. That's going to be something to watch.
Hey, Denver.
Yeah.
What's up, Tim?
I think Dylan can agree with this. I would love to see Norm line up side by side with Donald Campbell and Sydney.
Oh, God.
What do you think of that?
That would be wild. Now, I don't think
God.
Norm would know who we're talking about, but that would be something that when you meet Donald Campbell, which I haven't yet, but he said he wanted to make the trip to Miramichi, but the border situation doesn't allow that. That would be a show.
Dude's got giant cojones on the track. I'll just say that.
It's one of those things, though, when you go to, it doesn't matter if you're going to a stock car race or a demo or whatever the case may be, there's always that 1 or 2 names that you kind of circle as the drivers to beat every time you go there. When it comes to demolition in Sydney, Donald Campbell's up there. Mentioned Petty. Terry Nelson's going to be up there. He's going to be in Truro, I'm sure, if they have a derby this year. I know the exhibition got canceled, but I know that Andrew and them are looking at a derby. So social's been kind of quiet. I want to say hello to Jay Scary. He's tuned in. Brian Acker, Chris Dingham. There's a couple of others that are tuned in. If you're on social media, you're on Facebook, give us a like. Let us know you're tuned in. Clifford Biggard is watching as well, driver from Speedway 660. So give us a like. I'm bored over here, so give me something to do. But we did have one question come in from Brittany Hoyt, who's a part of our crew. Norm, you kind of already answered it, so I'm going to pitch it like this. Brittany apparently is going to be in Miramichi on Saturday. She says she's looking for a powder puff car. Just do not tell her mother.
Does Joseph know that?
Well, Joseph does now. Surprise! But she's looking for a powder puff car. So if there's anybody out there that has an extra car, she finished, I think, 12th or so, or 11th or something in the Spooktacular. And she almost got lapped by Sam Jardine, who's going to come up a little bit later on. So I'm sure we'll talk about that later on. But she's looking for one. So if you're out there, you're watching us on the Miramichi page, and you have a car for the powder puff, let Brittany Hoyt know. But yeah, drop us a question, comment. I'm bored over here. Give me something to do, boys.
She doesn't want a van, remember?
Oh yeah. She's very particular. She doesn't want a van because it tips over easily. Because we were going to put her in the Dylan mobile.
Yeah, that was the plan until it wouldn't start, and then she just sheepishly walked away and said, "Oh, I'm not going to race today. No, I'm good."
Yeah, she was. Well, she was afraid. Whose car was she driving back in October? Denver was
Dakota's.
Yeah, and she was afraid to go over and even ask him, "Can I drive the car?" Even though it was already arranged on social. So maybe she can get some encouragement or something here tonight. But regardless, she's going to be there on Saturday. I've seen her drive on dry pavement. I can't wait to see or hear what happens on Saturday when she drives in the wet and on the ice. So it is what it is. You guys carry on. I'm having fun listening to you guys. This has been a great conversation so far.
Well, let's keep going, Norm. We're looking ahead. So we got the Easter Bunny Bash, but then after that we have a full season of racing. What is your on the demo side of things at Speedway Miramichi, or even I heard rumors you might be looking at a bomber car or something, but what are your plans for 2021 beyond Saturday?
I'm definitely looking to build a bomber now that Shediac and Miramichi have joined the rules together, and I can jump because I'm third in points last year in Shediac for the bomber, and I was drawing my derby cars as a bomber, so I would bomber them Saturday and derby them Sunday kind of deal. But there's some really good events lined up this year. I know you guys in Miramichi were doing the trailer figure 8.
Yes.
Which you have no idea how stoked I am for that. It's going to be a blast. I got the trailer. I got the van. I'm looking forward to it. Shediac's going to have a long jump competition. So it's going to be a fight between me and Miky. Who's got the biggest cojones? Who's going to go airborne?
You two trying to die or something this summer?
I think it's kind of a goal. I'm older than Miky, but who's going to die first?
Oh, dear. So let's talk, we do a season-long points championship for demo. And we also do the Bomber Points Championship. What do you race with points in your mind? Is that something that you chase as a championship, or are you just out there to have fun and try to pick up checkered flags?
And my first season was all fun, and I missed 3 events and I finished 7th in points. So I was like, wow, like I'm top 10 missing events and I'm new to this. So last year I was going and wanting the points, and unluckily, I guess I fell short. I believe 12th in points. So this year, I'm definitely aiming for top 5.
Well, 12th is still not bad considering there was 120 registered drivers.
Exactly. And I got the picture up here somewhere as a list of the names. And I'm like, if you unfold it out of the frame, you see there's a lot of cars. I'm not that bad.
Oh, yeah, definitely. If you were in the top 20 last year, you were doing good given the circumstances. Exactly. But yeah, definitely a lot of big events planned. That figure 8 trailer race is going to be wild. You said how excited you are for that, but can you imagine Miky with a trailer hooked onto the back?
Miky will probably pull the trailer with his bare hands if he doesn't have a car to do it.
Absolutely. That will be fun. You might want to, if you're watching, mark that on your calendars. I don't think it's ever been done before in the Maritimes. Saturday, June 19th, the figure 8 trailer race is part of the Day of Eights at Speedway Miramichi. We're here with Norm Robichaud. We're coming on to the end of the interview, but there's still time. Like Tim said, keep Tim busy. Shoot some questions to Norm. He's
We have Riley Harris watching. Riley is big when it comes to demolition and bomber and all the fun stuff up in Miramichi. So I want to say hello to Riley. He's been a guest on our live show at the racetrack, and we've been there. And Jay Scary said, if the border's open to Nova Scotia, I was going to get a Magnum for this weekend, maybe for the summer. I will correct Jay. The border is open. Ian Rankin has our border open. It's just the other border that's not open. So you'd have to isolate for 14 days. And last time I checked, that shows in 3 days. 3 and 14 doesn't really match up. But yeah, so there's maybe he can get one in Nova Scotia, take it to like a Terry Nelson or a Kevin Grant, get it done up, and maybe go to a Sydney or go down here, because I'd love to see some of and that's really what we don't see a whole lot of. I know Bob McDonald from Pictou used to go up and do a lot of stuff in Shediac and do a lot of stuff in New Brunswick, but we haven't really seen a whole lot of drivers go back and forth. So Norm, when you mentioned the Sydney and Petty and a couple of others, I kind of like that idea. There's a little bit. We see it in the stock car stuff where there's a little bit of a border war or some of that track by track stuff. I like the idea of what you're talking about.
Oh, for sure. And it's all about the fun. I love the racing. So if I can do it as many weekends as I can out of the season, I'm going to travel as far as I need to travel.
One question from Jay Scary. How much we going to pay to see Miky hit the mud pit in the figure 8 trailer race? Now he's going to come on later, but Norm, if that was to you, how much would you need to throw your trailer in the mud pit during the figure 8?
Well, I'll tell you, if I see him falling behind, I'm totally my car. I had a bomber race in Shediac last year where I think I put way too much oil in my car. So my car was dying. And I always have a GoPro in my passenger seat. I looked at it, I said, if I don't make it to the last lap in full speed, I'm hitting the wall. And that's kind of what I'm aiming for with the trailer race too. If I see I'm getting taken out, my goal is to flip a car. I haven't flipped a car yet. So I've tried. I've taken turns at 100 kilometers an hour in the minivans, and I can't flip. Somebody's got to flip me.
Those poles at Petty are going to be a prime opportunity this summer.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Even Shediac, they have that big dirt jump, and I told myself I was going to hit it. I think I did 3 turns and my van overheated.
Well, Norm, I know you got to get going here soon, so we're going to wind this up. But let's go with who do you have to thank for making this possible for you? You're out competing all summer long. Who makes it happen, whether it be sponsors, family, friends, whatever, fans? Who makes it happen for car number 666?
Well, my sponsor, definitely, I shirt myself printing. My buddy Randy, he's an amazing guy, and he's been helping me out. And you guys at Miramichi, you've been so welcoming to us coming from down southern New Brunswick, and it's always a blast. I go there, they know my name at the gate, they know who I am, and I always feel welcome in Miramichi. Other than that, I got my buddy Remy Roussell, who I get my cars from. Not Remy Roussell, sorry, Remy Savoie, who I get my cars from. It's actually his birthday today, so happy birthday, buddy. And just other than that, the fans. The fans are the reason we go there and literally put our lives on the line. Definitely our backs. It's hard to get up for a few days after.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Norm, we're going to give you the final word for your interview. Easter Bunny Bash coming up this Saturday, the first ever winter demolition at Speedway Miramichi. Why should the fans plan to be there, and why should they cheer for you? Give us the final word heading into the Easter Bunny Bash.
Well, I came off a really, really good last show in October in Miramichi, and I'm feeling that momentum for this first show. And like I said, it's a historic event. It's the first winter event in Miramichi, and I want my name to be etched in stone at that event.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being a part of this, Norm. I know you got to get going, but we appreciate you rearranging your schedule to be on here tonight. We will see you this weekend. Best of luck. It's going to be a fun one.
Thanks a lot, buddy. We'll see you Saturday.
That is Norm Robichaud, driver of car number 666, and you will see him at the Easter Bunny Bash this weekend. And now we have another guest joining us. This driver came off a strong year in 2020, really impressed everybody. 3rd place in final points out of 120 cars, roughly, as we said. The winner of 4 Powder Puff races picked up a podium finish at the Day of Eights. It's driver of car number 12, no stranger to Tim's Corner Motorsports, Sam Jardine. Sam, welcome to the virtual edition of Tim's Corner Live.
Hi, Denny. Hi, everybody.
So, Sam, we have some video here on the screen. Now, we're going to start with this. I don't know. I believe that might be the race. You won a Powder Puff race last year with a broken arm.
I did. A broken elbow.
Broken elbow. So
Yeah.
how did you pull that one off to, we had 20 some cars in the powder puff races. How did you manage to, first of all, break your arm, but then win a race with a broken arm?
Honestly, it was like 2 weekends before too, I think. It was a fluke. It was a complete fluke. It was my little cousin's birthday. We were down at the Howard Johnson at the pool. I slipped. I fell on my elbow. I demolished it. There's a plate in there. There's 7 screws in there now. So like I did a pretty good number on it. I went to the hospital, I think like 2 days before that demo. And he took the cast off and he was like, yeah, so just be careful or whatever here, wear whatever, but like I'm taking the cast off. And I was like, I don't have to wear a cast anymore. And he was like, no. And I was like, okay, knowing the demo was coming. And I was like, I had a car planned already. And I was like, man, okay, well, I'm going to try it anyway. But I, like you've seen, I bubble wrapped my arm. I bubble wrapped my car. The only races I did was the powder puff race and I think I might have did the figure 8 actually. But I just kind of stayed back. I didn't get into the action too much. But then I gave that car to Miky, I think, in the demo. So.
That was definitely fun, and that was definitely wild. One-handed bandit, that's the name that Jean-Francois Basque, the 2-time champion, has, but I think you tried to take the title from him that day.
I did. I planned on taking it easy, honestly. Usually the girls' races, we take them pretty slow, and we just kind of have a good time, but Georgia come along out of nowhere and passed me, and I was like, well, I don't like that, so I had to actually try and give it a little bit, but it wasn't too bad, and my arm wasn't sore after, so I think I was successful there. Everything was okay.
All right, so let's get down to business. Easter Bunny Bash this weekend, the first ever Winter Demolition. You are registered to be part of this show. What do you expect? We've never raced on snow, ice, mud, whatever the conditions are going to be. We haven't done it in this before in the month of March, even in the wintertime. What are you expecting on Saturday?
Honestly, I'm not really sure. I went home last weekend to pick up my car. Well, actually, just to see my car. It was buried under at least 5 feet of snow. So I've never seen it. I don't know what's on it for tires even. Like, I know it's an Impala, and I know it runs. So, I mean, at least I got that. I think it's going to be a wicked time. I'm hoping that there's going to be, you said like 20 to 30 cars. So, I mean, that's not bad. I think it's going to be fun. It's definitely going to be different. Maybe a little bit more dangerous than usual, but we'll just have to keep our heads up and hope for the best anyway.
You mentioned the snow, so let's to give a picture for the people who maybe aren't from northern New Brunswick, and I'm in Fredericton, I know you're in Moncton. There's not a whole lot of snow in those places. I know Dylan is down in Nova Scotia, Dylan and Tim. There's not a whole lot of snow throughout the Maritimes, but no. I was at the track last weekend to prepare for the Easter Bunny Bash, and there was at least 4, if not 5 feet of snow. So for everyone that thinks this was an easy winter, you're not from Miramichi.
No. Up north too. I got my best friend lives in Bathurst. I was there a lot this winter, and same thing. They're still sledding and everything, and I'm like, man, you drive down to Moncton, I don't have any snow in my yard right now. Halifax, I don't think they even know snow is this year. So I mean, it's pretty wild to think that there's still that much snow in Miramichi.
We could race at Scotia Speed World, and it would be like a normal day, pretty much.
Exactly, like that's sick.
Yeah, and there was. Let me tell you, it was a tall task, a tall order to get the grandstands and everything shoveled out. And I know Barry's been hard at work all week preparing the facility, and now the forecast for this weekend is looking wild. We really have no idea what to expect, but that's all part of it. Whatever the challenges that get thrown, you guys are the best demo drivers in the world. So whatever gets thrown at you, you're going to adapt and deal with it.
Yeah, I'm not one bit worried. Honestly, the weather changes about every half hour you check. Like right now, if you check now, it says about 5 centimeters of snow, and it's just in the morning. So if we get that out of the way, we come in, I think it'll be all right. But we'll have to see.
All right, so I know we got you a little bit stressed out. We have a bit of a bombshell. And I don't know how many people know about this. I think Tim knows about it. Dylan, I don't think you know about this. But you won almost every powder puff race you were in last year. You lost a couple.
I did.
I think there was one you lost to Amber straight up and one that you broke. But anyways, we got an anonymous message this week through Speedway Miramichi, and I guess you could call it a challenge. They said they don't think you could win the powder puff if you had to start dead last. So they're challenging you to start dead last this weekend in the snow, ice, and mud.
We can try it.
To the front. It's 10 laps. There's lots of time.
That is a lot of. Is that why we're doing that though? Is that to give me a chance? Because that's a lot of laps.
Well, 10 laps is the new norm because the powder puff race was
is it?
phenomenal.
Oh,
they taught all this talk about a new normal. The powder puff race being 10 laps. I think that's a new normal at Speedway Miramichi. We got some news coming down the pipeline in the weeks to come regarding the powder puff, but we'll let people sit and think about that for a while. But 10 laps, you're up for the challenge to start dead last on Saturday?
I'll give her a go.
So that's going to be a show.
I have no reason not to. Why not?
So we have a show. So if there was any reason that you were thinking not to attend, this is one to attend. Sam Jardine, third place in points, winner of 4 Powder Puff races last year. She's going to start shotgun on the field. It's official. We're live on Tim's Corner Live. Everyone's heard it now, so there's no going back. Sam is going to start at the back of the field.
All right, we can give it a go. Do we have many numbers for girls, do we think?
Oh, well, it's hard to say. It's early.
Tell
but,
Brittany I'll find her a car, too. I can make that happen.
So you lapped Brittany last year, so is it going to be a problem to pass her on the way through the field?
She's pretty quick, man. She knows how to handle a car. Honestly, this might be a little tough. I'm just hoping I have decent tires, especially if it's slippery. I'm just hoping. I don't know. We'll have to see, I guess.
Traditional. Go ahead, everyone.
Denver, your aunt is listening.
Oh, hi,
Let you
Chris.
know she is watching. She heard the comment earlier about Brittany may or may not be able to race. Brittany told me she's 22 and makes her own decisions.
Well, listen, that's between Krista and Brittany. We'll leave it at that.
We are here to stir the pot. I don't have my spoon. I'm not on camera, so we can do that. But yeah, just throwing that out there. And Jay Scary says your new name is Sam Bubble Wrap Jardine.
I like that.
There you go. That's a cool
That's
nickname.
fitting.
Are you going to bring bubble wrap anyway? Just to live
You know
up
what?
the
I
hype?
probably should. I probably
should. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see if I can pick some up somewhere.
Again, we're live and interactive, so if you have a question for Sam, drop it in the comments. Give us a like, give us a share, let us know that you're watching, get your name read out here, and we're previewing this weekend. This is going to be wild. Boys, get back at it.
Sam, traditionally, do you like to start towards the front in your Powder Puff races, or if you're racing in any of the demo races?
Honestly, just for the Powder Puff race. I'm not there for points. Like finishing third last year, that was really cool. That's not what I'm there for. I like doing the Powder Puff race with the girls. It usually just works out because I don't usually do their dash for cash because they're crazy. So I usually just end up lining my car up there first, and then everybody else lines up behind us. And we had an unreal summer last year with the girls races. It was amazing, even to see younger people get into it as well. It wasn't just like the normal, like there's usually 5 or 6 of us, but like it was amazing.
Hopefully we see a good field of at least, double digits, 10 to 12 plus on Saturday for the Powder Puff races. That'll really make it fun with you starting at the back.
Yeah, no, that would be sick. It'd be something to see.
So when we were talking to Norm earlier, Norm has some experience racing in the snow. Do you have any experience or other than maybe driving down the 126 to Moncton in the snow?
That would be about it. Living in Miramichi over the winters usually, that's about it. I'd take my car anywhere though, so I'm not scared of any amount of snow. But
I'll ask you this.
It's definitely gonna make this speed, I think.
Oh yeah. So I have a question for you. We all know Jonathan Dixon likes to drift. If there's snow on the track, how much is Jonathan Dixon going to be drifting?
Oh, I couldn't even imagine. He's been posting videos all week. He's excited, I think. I've been talking to him a few weeks ago. I think it's gonna be a pretty good time.
So let's take a step back. For the fans who don't know Sam Jardine, how long ago did you get your start in demolitions?
I raced a few times when I was younger. I've never had my own car. I used to do the I did a few of the Powder Puff races, and I did a figure 8 when I was younger too. But then 2017 was the first year I put in a van as well. An old Chevy, I do believe it was a van. Yeah, and
like Dylan, started in a van.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta start big.
That's right.
But I did that one, and I absolutely fell in love. And then 2018 was just a busy year. I didn't get out as much as I wanted to. I think I only did 2 that summer on my own. But last year I didn't miss one. I had 6 cars last year. We went through the whole year, and it was absolutely amazing.
So 2021, I think in total, counting the winter one, we got 8 demolitions lined up. Are you going to make all 8 this year?
Honestly, I would love to say I am, but I'm graduating in June. I'm done college in June. I started applying for jobs, and none of them are near New Brunswick. My field of study is not somewhere that's going to keep me close to home, I don't think. So I'm hoping maybe if it's at least some shift work, weeks on, weeks off, maybe I'll get lucky and end up here every once in a while, but a full season doesn't look promising for me.
But you said, so you graduate in June. That gives you the opportunity to be in the field for the figure 8 trailer race at the Day of Eights.
I didn't even know about that. Again, I'm not on Facebook anymore. Nobody told me about that.
You extinguished your Facebook account.
Yeah, I did. Honestly, it's gone. I just don't use it as much. But yeah, when Norm mentioned that, I was like, oh, okay, are we doing that? Because, that's going to be unreal. So I'm hoping I am still around for that.
We are doing that. What's up, Tim?
You mentioned the buzzword. Paul, roll it.
Oh, here we go. Sam, I don't know if you have the video up, but we mentioned
I'm watching it on Facebook.
Yeah, Extinguished. Take us back. This is the Halloween Spooktacular, October 24th, 2020. What happened here?
We'll see. I didn't plan on, my car gave out on what I think the pumpkin race. I hit a chunk of something on the track. My transmission line went. My car was
probably a pumpkin.
No, it wasn't pumpkin. It was something hard because it was. I seen it last minute because I was talking to my friend who was in my car with me. I ran it over and I heard the noise and I went, oh, that wasn't good. But yeah, so I completely ran that over, and then so I was out, and then I didn't plan on racing the rest of the day, so I just hung out, talked to everybody and such. And then Dylan Story ended up having 2 cars that day, and he come to me like, I mean, maybe 10 minutes before the demo, and he's like, do you want to try my other car? And I was like, yeah, I guess so. So I jumped in his car last minute. We went out the track. I think the person who hit me was Matt. I'm pretty sure it was Matt. So yeah, and then he caught on fire. But there's a lot of fires that day. There was like I think there was a truck right in front of us on fire too. And then anyway, but I tried to jump out and help, but I wasn't very helpful.
You were so nonchalant just walking around the car there that was on fire. I just watched the video. I mean,
yeah.
Did you know that something was wrong right away when you hit whatever and you're like, I gotta get the heck out of here?
Honestly, I didn't realize right away. Because like when Matt hit me, he didn't know it was me. So he said sorry, but then he noticed the fire and he's like, Sam, get out, there's a fire. And I was like, where? So I like slowly climbed out, and by the time I realized that I know that I had a fire extinguisher, I didn't know where it was because it wasn't my car. And it was in the back seat, and then it was too late. Dougie had it under control. They didn't need me. Dougie was there.
Yeah.
Well, Doug had it under control until he got to Riley's car.
There was no controlling that. That wasn't our fault.
Yes. There was nothing at that point. It was too far gone, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we talked, there's some preliminary races. Obviously, you're going to be part of the Powder Puff. There's the Dash for Cash, the backup race, the Bump to Patch. You need to run 2 to qualify for the big purse for the big show. What else are you looking at? Are you going to do one of the other ones? Or are you going to do more than one?
I'm going to do all of them but the Dash for Cash. Yeah, the Dash for Cash. I mean, if there's not many people, I might do it just for fun. Just to get a feel of the car. Honestly, this time I might just park at the back and see how the car runs, and then we'll see.
Don't you like a challenge? Don't you feel like a challenge?
They're crazy. Did you see the ones last year? They just all went out. The first 10 cars were screwed. There was nobody who even made it out of them, half of them. That's how we lost most of our cars last year.
We lost a lot of cars in a lot of ways.
Well, but the Dash for Cash, I couldn't imagine going out there and everybody just giving her the gears right around the first turn, and like 10 of them are Dylan.
So we're learning here, Dylan, that when you make your return, which it will happen, we're going to work on a date, but maybe avoid the Dash for Cash.
Heck no, I'm doing that. I'm doing that sucker again.
Listen, in October, I was Trenton Silliker stood up at the drivers' meeting and said it's $20 to enter. What does everyone think? And everyone agreed. So it paid like $800 to win.
I was gonna say, man, that's wild.
That was pretty wild. So Sam, you've said you've been around for a while. You've run for a couple of years, but we said with Norm back in 2018, 2019, we were around 18, 20, maybe 25 cars a race. This year, it picks up in July. We're at 40, and then it picks up again in September. We're at 67, pushing 70. How crazy was it to go from 20 cars to triple that in over 60 cars?
Honestly, it was unbelievable. Like I don't know what it was last summer, why everybody was getting into it, but I'm not complaining, that's for sure, because it was just crazy. Every time we went, there's people we've never even seen before. Like it was just, I don't know where all the people were coming from, but they weren't stopping, and it was amazing.
Absolutely, it sure was. Now, last year, one of your big highlights outside of the Powder Puff race came at the Day of Eights. You weren't in your car. Your car produced an even bigger highlight.
It did.
With the guests that we have coming up after you, I don't know if Tim has the video for that lined up. I hope he does, when Miky went sailing through the air in Sam's number 12 car. But while Miky did that, you took another car and you parked it on the podium.
I did. That was amazing as well. Again, Dylan's story. Thank you so much, because honestly, it was, I don't remember what Miky brought that day. I want to say, was that maybe the Ranger? Was that the day he brought the Ranger? I think that was the Ranger, yeah. Yeah, anyway, and it didn't end up well for him. And like I said, the boy knows how to put on a show. You can't stop him. So when he comes over and asks you for your car, you give it to him. I'm not one bit mad knowing he's going to go out there and give it his all the time. And then it happened that Dylan seen me give my car to Miky, and Dylan's like, well, you take mine then. And I'm like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, no, it's fine. So we ended up both getting out there and having an amazing time. And it was, that was a good demo. That was fun.
So we asked the question to Norm earlier, is there anyone that you wouldn't get in the car with for the bag race, the pumpkin race, et cetera, et cetera? And his answer was very quick and very straight to the point, Miky. Is there anyone that you wouldn't get in the car with?
Honestly, at this point, if I had to pick, like if you told me you have to pick a person, it would be Miky. But I would. If he asked me to do the bag race with him, I'd do it. I'd probably, I don't know. I think I'd drive. I'd let him be the, I don't know if I'd let him be the butt driver, actually, with me in a bag on my head. That doesn't sound like safe, actually. But like any other pumpkin race, I would have got in with him for sure. Like, he's just crazy, but you gotta learn to accept it.
I think everyone out there is got a little crazy in them. Who else is there out there? We have a lot of drivers entered for this weekend, 20 to 30, a lot of big names on that list, a lot of demo wins. You look at the Riley Harrises.
Oh, hold up.
Uh-oh.
Hold up. Trenton Siliker just commented on the Miramichi page, make it $50 on Saturday for the Dash for Cash.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That would
Not
be a
to
big
stir the
payday.
pot at all, but Trenton knows what he's talking about because he's been there and done this a couple of times, right?
Oh, good God.
Trenton, I don't think Trenton's going to be here Saturday, unfortunately, but
Even better. It's not his money.
his winning car from the Halloween Spooktacular will be there, I am told. I saw the pictures today.
Also want to say hello to our most popular driver, Gary Elliott. He's watching too, so want to say hello to Gary.
Hello to Gary. Well, we got to get Gary up to Speedway Miramichi, maybe not in a demo car.
Not in a demo car.
Not in a
Dude.
demo car. But we'll find a street stock or a modified. Gary raced modifieds in Ontario, did he not?
Yeah.
He did, and I don't know what his track list is, but he was I'm down here years and years ago. I don't know if Miramichi is on his list of tracks that he's actually been to yet and raced at yet, but if not, that'd be one to strike off the bucket list. So I want to say hello to Gary, our most popular driver, Canada's Iron Man. So I saw that he's watching there, gave us a like. So give us a like, give us a comment, question down below for Sam. We've thrown everything at her. Well, we've even thrown fire extinguishers at her. Wait, wrong track. But yeah, give us a question, comment, give us a like. We'll get your name out there.
Well, Gary knows a thing about running over stuff, Sam. He had a piece of lead go through the hood during one of the Pro Stock races.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that was something else. So you never know what'll fly up on the track, I guess.
Greg, I guess.
So, Sam, let's talk about the demolitions. Typically, there's lots of guys out there. It's always been lots of guys, but in recent years, there's been yourself. Amber Sickles has been out there. Krista Sickles has been out there. A couple other girls have stepped in behind the wheel for a race or two. Why should girls not be afraid to get out there on the track and take part in these demolitions? Because with 60, 70 cars and lots of wrecking out there, it can be intimidating.
Honestly, looking at it now, I every time I think about it, my grandmother still gets mad when I do these. My grandmother's like, "You're gonna get hurt," and I'm like, "But you know what? At least I'm having fun." Because I don't know, the boys they see us and they love when we're out there. They treat us great. Most of them are so nice. They don't go out to hurt us. They'll hurt each other, and then if they need be, they'll bother us. But not that I'm saying they take it easy, but some of them do. We're not. I don't know. Growing up, I lived at the track. I remember watching Brad McLean race when I was young, Trenton too. I loved watching them in the demos when I was a kid. It was hilarious. So I don't know, just thinking of it, I guess if you like having fun, you may as well give it a shot. You get pushed around a bit. Most times, I know Norm said he gets sore, but Norm's old. So that's why he gets sore. But I don't know.
So you call him Dylan old?
Yeah, hey, whoa. Hold on there. Were you body checked on the side in the middle of the figure eight? Because my effing back hurt after that.
There's one demo last year. I took a pretty good beating and I woke up in the morning and I was like, oh, I see what they're talking about. But most of the times it's not too bad. Like I said, last year seeing all the younger girls getting into the girls race even, that was really cool. And I'm hoping they stick to it this summer. But I don't see why you wouldn't try it. You have to try it. You can't say you just don't like it. But at the same time, I grew up playing hockey. I grew up around boys my whole life. So, I know how to take a beating regardless. So I'm not scared of them. And I think that makes a big difference too.
Well, how cool.
You just got to stand your ground.
How cool is it, though, to see more women get involved in racing, because we got the handful that do oval racing here in the Maritimes, but it seems like with Demolition, that seems to be the one that attracts the ladies. I mean, that's pretty cool, right?
Oh, it's amazing. Like, it's so cool to see the girls race. Like you said, I remember the summer before, it'd be like me and Candace. If Amber was around, she'd be there. Like, there'd be like 3 or 4 of us max. Like, so I mean, from going from that to 30 to 20 to almost 30 cars, like, you can't describe it. Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the first Powder Puff race I ever flagged, there was 2 cars, and that was in 2018. And last year, I think we had 24, 26, maybe, pushing 30. I think we lost count sometimes. So really great to see. And if we're keeping track, we're outnumbered for injuries at the pool versus injuries in a demo car.
Yeah, exactly. And that's honestly, that's when I showed up that day and I had my arm in a cast, people were like, oh my God, did you do that last demo? And I'm like, I went swimming last weekend. And that's honestly, people wouldn't believe me. They're like, you do this all summer and you broke your arm swimming. And I'm like, yep, that is it.
Denver, I've got more injuries putting up speakers at Valley Raceway than I did in a demo. I sliced my forehead open on a piece of fence, and with the demo race, I just was a little stiff after. So yeah, if you're unsure about safety, you can hurt yourself in many other ways in a demo race. Because when I found Sam, and you've raced a lot more than me, and Denver has a little race too, people aren't really out there to try and kill each other. There's the course hitting, and there's going to be some wild things flying around the track, but there's a little bit of respect there too, where you're not trying to intentionally injure someone as well.
You showed up, and nobody hated you. Nobody had a reason to hate you. You were just a great guy, showed up having some fun. For others, there's some heat that becomes a problem where they do go to kill each other.
Okay, I stand corrected. I stand. See,
Sam,
I thought.
What happens at the McDonald's parking lot stays at the McDonald's parking lot.
Exactly.
see, Sam, I thought there would be an a target on me because I said, I'm an announcer. I'm going to race for the first time. I think I was the only Nova Scotian to race at the very best fall shootout. So I figured, there's going to be a giant target on my behind. But so then I guess there can be some
it gets even last summer. There's a lot of drama on Facebook. It got heated, and they settled it at the track. Everything was fine. It happens where there's a lot of shit talking before the races, and everybody's kind of getting each other's face, but then they go out and we have just as much fun. So I mean, if anything, it just kind of, I don't know, it makes it more fun, I guess.
So it's like a hockey fight. You can yap, and then you drop the gloves, and it's all good after, right?
And then you hug, and then you're fine.
Good.
Speaking of drivers that maybe don't get that respect, Sam, and this is one of those things where if you know, but maybe Taz?
Yeah, him.
Yeah,
they're still talking about him on Facebook, Miky said.
They're still talking about him.
I don't know. I think he disappeared. I think we scared him good the last time. I don't think he has a reason to come back. If he does, I think he'd be awfully brave, and I don't think he'd make it out of the first race.
That's all part of the fun. It's all about survival. That's what demolitions are about, is surviving.
I guess, yeah.
Speaking of that, though, I mean, I'm looking at the schedule, Denver and Sam, especially for you. I mean, the back end with the demo, I mean, you've got 50 laps you got to survive before we go into the actual demo part. So what's your strategy with that? It's not like any of the other demos that I've really seen there, where you got to survive the enduro, and then there's a lot of laps added in there.
Honestly, where I'm at I usually just stay out everybody's way. I kind of stay to the side. They usually go around me. Every once in a while, I'll come in and push somebody around, but I'll get right back out of the way. Because I don't know, it's a long, 50 laps is a lot. So, I mean, you just kind of, halfway through you get bored anyway. It's at the top so many cars if we have to do 50 laps.
I think we're doing 50 laps. We're still trying to finalize the details. I know there's been some questions. I have to talk to Barry about how it's exactly going to work.
Yeah, because usually it was the top 10 or 15 or whatever who's left, and then we do a demo. But I mean, if it's the whole 50 laps, that might be a little different.
I think we want to put on a show. 50 laps is about survival. We haven't. We've tried an enduro before, and it got way too dusty, and we had to shut that down all of the way too fast.
Yeah, so, I remember that.
Hopefully, I know a lot of guys are saying there could be some snow on the track. There'll be some mud in the infield. There's not going to be any worries about dust. They'll be a little slower. What a perfect opportunity to go out and log some laps and have some fun.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. It's going to be cool. It's a survival game at that point, though. I mean, everybody's coming around and you just don't know, especially if it's snowy. Oh, I couldn't imagine. Everybody's slipping and sliding everywhere, so it'll be cool.
So Sam, let's talk. You said how you grew up watching the likes of Trenton Silliker, the likes of Brad McLean.
Yeah.
I'm only a few years younger than you, so I grew up watching all these guys too. You throw in Kevin Tucker, you throw in Adam Plourde, you throw in all those guys. Bruce Hashey's another one. Robert Legier.
Robert, yeah.
A lot of them, well, not all of them, but some of them you still see out there. You look back to the Spooktacular last year, and the final four for that included, Kevin Tucker, Matthew Sullivan, Trenton Silliker, and Adam Plourde.
Yeah.
What's it mean to be out there competing with these guys that you grew up watching?
Oh, even like Adam, I know him a little bit, honestly, because of Dixley. Adam eats at Dixley a lot. But, and being out there with him now is hilarious because, every time I see him, he's like, I'm getting too old for this. I'm done. And then the next race I see him out there, and I'm like, I thought you were done. And he's like, you can't outgrow it. Kevin said the same thing. I was talking to him earlier last summer. He's like, no, I'm done. You won't catch me in a demo car anymore. There he is. It's so funny. And I think it's amazing that they're still doing it. I think that's pretty cool.
Absolutely. But we're also seeing this youth movement. I think there was more kids under the age of 25 in the top 20 in points last year than what there was over 25. So that says a lot about how this sport is growing, that yes, we still see these guys who are legends of the sport competing, but the kids like yourself, like the Alex McIntoshes, like the Jacob Smiths, like the Zach LaHouliers that grew up watching these guys, they're out there competing with them now too.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. Last summer, I like Lex. Oh, I love him. He's such a good kid. And racing with him is always a good time. LaHouliers too, both of them, Zach and his little brother, Jonah. Even Lex's little brother, Riley, for him to come out and win the demo. Last summer was absolutely amazing. And actually, Zach is going to run my car in a race, I think, on Saturday. If he's there, I'm going to let him do one because he couldn't get a car. So we'll see him there anyway.
We won't put Zach to the back.
Okay, perfect.
So we put this question to Norm earlier. We said, really the only, in New Brunswick, Miramichi and Shediac are the only tracks that do demos consistently. I know Petty has got some things lined up this year. Oysterbed Speedway and PEI does one or two. Sydney Speedway's looking at a couple. Is there any tracks, even tracks like maybe a Speedway 660 or a Scotia Speedworld that don't do demos, that you would like to get out and compete at in any form, any series that you haven't been to already?
I went to Shediac, it was 2 or 3 years ago, actually. That's where I met Miky. He let me run one of his cars. I think I was going almost 110 right into a wall. I blacked out. It was wild. That was the last time I drove in Shediac. It was crazy. But past that, I think it'd be cool to try. I didn't even hear about Petty either. So, I think if they're doing a demo this summer and Norm plans on going, I might go up there and see what they're doing. And PEI too. I'd love to even go watch in PEI. I always meant to, because I remember going to PEI every summer when I was a kid and seeing the racetrack and always saying I was going to go, but never did. But I might try to get over there this summer as well.
PEI Oysterbed Speedway is a beautiful track. I know, Dylan, you are looking forward to your first trip, and me and Tim have been there before. It is a beautiful track. It's one of my favorite tracks to go to.
Really?
Yeah, I'm fired
we were
up.
in Shediac. Yeah, we were in Shediac. Even last summer, I think there's a few boys from PEI, and they were the nicest people, and that's what they said. They raced there, so I think it'd be cool to go and take a road trip and see what's going on.
Absolutely. Well, we got to wind down. Yes, Tim.
I was going to say, from your producer side of things, our next guest is in the waiting room. So whenever you're
Excellent.
ready, he is there. And I know all the fans are waiting for Miky. So, I mean, a fanfare, I can feel the electricity in here. But Norm said in chat that he'll throw the 666 at you on the weekend, Sam. So just be prepared for that. Chris said, good job. So you guys are doing awesome so far tonight, by the way, Denver and Dylan, you guys are doing great. You're in running for my job on Monday night. The Rick Cashel is coming on. I want to remind the fans, you can send in your question via homing pigeon. Takes a couple of days to get here, but you can send in your question for the villain Rick Cashel. Excited to have him on Monday, but I want to transition into the 660 side of things. Sam, I know you talked about getting out and seeing a couple of different racetracks. I want to ask you about your Speed Weekend experience last year. First time at Speed Weekend. What was your whole take about that big weekend at 660?
It was honestly the best weekend I had last summer. And I know that's weird because I had an amazing I had an amazing summer at our track, but that weekend was just incredible. Spending it with Denver, Mayor, you, Brittany was there. I got to meet so many people. The racing was absolutely amazing. That was the first time I got to watch Ashton Tucker race, actually. So, that was cool to watch him win. The experience was amazing. I'm still waiting for a palm tree though, and that better be
Yes.
there in the back of Denver's car for next summer.
Well, wherever you're working, you better make sure you have
Oh yeah,
time
I'm gonna
off.
have to take that weekend off. I don't know, there's a wedding or something going on. I'm gonna have to come home.
Dylan Landell, you gotta circle your calendar. Speed Weekend at Speedway 660. I don't think you've been there for Speed Weekend yet, so that's got to be on your bucket list for this year.
Yeah, I got roped into doing river rafting right before, so I told them, I said, okay, I gotta go there this year. So I mean, for Sam, is there any other race weekends, even as a fan, do you circle and say, okay, I don't care if I'm in the stands or in the pits, I gotta be there? What other races do you look forward to?
Honestly, no. Last summer was the first time I hit any other racetrack other than Miramichi or Shediac. Those are the only
really?
two racetracks I've ever been to. Like, I just grew up always in Miramichi, and that's where I've always stayed for racing. I never really got into any other racing other than demo, I guess. The street stock's cool to watch, and but last summer, the Speed Weekend, I got a taste of everything, and that was amazing. It was so, so cool.
I know where Dylan's going with this.
I don't know where I'm going.
Well, there's one weekend we haven't mentioned yet that it's kind of fond of you and I. July, middle of July.
Oh, the
beautiful Antigonish County.
That weekend. Sorry, the Atlantic Bubble hasn't kicked in my brain yet.
How do you forget that?
I just got off work. I'm sorry. So would you maybe make the trip to Nova Scotia, or you mentioned PEI? Like, there's there stuff you're more willing to do before you go away to work or whatever?
Honestly, I'm gonna get in as much racing as I can. Right now, we graduate early June. So I'm hoping that if I don't have many jobs lined up, I can at least maybe even push it off till July to get a bit of racing in. So we'll have to wait and see. But I would definitely go to Nova Scotia, especially see Tim. I'd always go to Nova Scotia.
If you don't mind me asking, Sam, what are you going to school for? What's going to throw you to New Brunswick, maybe?
I'm taking welding technology. It's going to put me into the welding inspection side of welding. So yeah, there's just not much. There's a bit going down in St. John if you go to you look at the refinery and stuff like that. But really, all the jobs are out west. There's a lot in Ontario as well. A few in Halifax. So, I mean, I guess there is a few doors open around here, but I think the money is mostly in Ontario and out west. So,
weld a couple cars here, a couple demo cars that smashed up.
There you go. You can make a business building demo cars. I know there's lots of people that have been getting in on that in the last year or so.
Yeah, stay home with my own business.
Well, Sam, we got to wrap things up firstly, or I shouldn't say firstly, but who would you like to thank for whether it be sponsors, fans, friends, family? Who would you like to thank for making your racing career possible?
Honestly, everybody. Like my grandfather, number one for sure, my grandfather. The boys at the track met him last year. They absolutely love him. They always ask about him. If he's not there, in the pit with us, they're always like, oh my God, where is he? And he's always there walking around. He talks to everybody. He's the sweetest old man. He helps me with my cars, honestly. He does a lot of the work as well. But the boys too, like Matt, Norm, Miky, for just honestly making it like a big family. We show up at the track, we all hang out in the back, we all have fun. It's always a laugh. I'm so happy I met all those boys and have become pretty good friends with most of them. Even all the fans, when all the boys come out, all the younger kids, even seeing Zach and all them, it's so cool. And their parents come watch and they come back and see us. My best friend Abby too, she's always there with me. She helps me with my cars, her boyfriend, and then just so many people. I could go on for days, but.
So we're gonna give you the final word, Sam. Easter Bunny Bash, first ever Winter Demolition at Speedway Miramichi. That's coming up this weekend, Saturday, 2 p.m. start. Why should the fans want to be there? What can they expect at the Easter Bunny Bash?
Well, honestly, let's just say it this way: Mikey's gonna be there. There's snow involved. I think it's going to be a wild time. It's going to be something that no one's ever seen before around Miramichi, so I don't see why there's a reason you wouldn't be out. There's nothing else going on. So.
Well, Sam, we thank you for coming on the show. Obviously, you're no stranger to TCM. This is the first time we've done it virtually, but we thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us. And, for all the other demo drivers out there, yes, we've had Sam on a few times, but trust me, your time is coming. I'm going to get you all in front of a camera and a microphone this coming season. So, get ready, get prepared. I know there's some people a little camera shy, but Sam, before we let you go, any advice when we throw some cameras in some of these other guys' faces? Maybe for Miky coming up, maybe settle his nerves?
Oh, no, I think this is going to be funny. Miky's going to roll with this. I'm sticking here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to stay here in the background. And I'm going to laugh at Miky to myself because this is going to be good. But even the other boys, some of them are pretty shy, though. I don't think you catch some of them even If you walk towards them with the camera, they probably run. So
we're gonna get them on a camera this summer. Well, thank you,
I
Sam.
can't wait.
Thank you for coming on tonight. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you guys so much.
Is Sam Jardine, driver of the number 12 demolition car at Speedway Miramichi. And coming up next, you could argue we saved the best for last. A driver who certainly knows how to put on a show. We saw him put on lots of shows last summer. He's changed his number a couple times, but he's one of those drivers. Some people love to hate him, some hate to love him, some just straight up love him. He'll be in car number 369 this weekend. It is Miky Roussell, and he is getting ready to join us here on TCM Live, we hope, as long as all the technology works properly. Here he is, coming on, waiting for the technology to work. But last year, if you were at Speedway Miramichi, you would have saw this guy flying through the air. You would have saw him in some hits in the figure 8 race in the X. There was lots of excitement and
he probably hit me, to be honest.
He probably did hit you, Dylan. Miky's car, that same Dash for Cash race you were in, there's a video from the first lap, or sorry, a picture of his car smoking, and we have him on live now. Miky, can you hear us?
Yep.
Welcome to TCM Live. We are here with the Easter Bunny Bash preview. Thank you for joining the show tonight. I know you had a busy night. Welcome to TCM Live. I don't know if you've got to hear anything yet, but there's...
Oh, I was listening for the past half an hour there.
So you got to hear
Norm and Sam going at it.
Yeah, you heard Jardine on here. Easter Bunny Bash this weekend, the first time we're ever doing a winter demolition at Speedway Miramichi. What do you expect? It's going to be icy. There's going to be some snow. There's going to be some mud. That sounds like a Miky Roussell type of event.
Oh, you're going to see a full send situation. You and me know both why, and it's going to be wild.
Absolutely. Is Wild your middle name? Sometimes people might wonder that.
Nah, I guess from moving houses to being underneath houses and moving cars around in the Derby, Wild could be in there.
So let's talk about you. When did you get your start in demolitions? Because you really just came on the scene in Miramichi last year, but to my understanding, you've been around the demolition scene for a couple years in the province of New Brunswick.
It's going to be my 7th or 8th season this summer. I did a couple in Miramichi before, and I didn't went on Miramichi for the last 3 years. And I went back last year, but I did Shediac pretty much all around in the same time.
So let's talk last year, because it really was a wild and crazy year. I know you had some incidents with your own car getting broke up, but then you would go out in someone like Sam's car or someone else's car and put on a show. So take us back 2020 season. What's your thoughts on 2020?
2020 was one of the best seasons in racing in the past. Well, in my career, Dad. I know we didn't have much finish, but we made a show all summer, and we had the crowd standing up, and that's the main thing about it.
So let's talk about the Day of Eights, because that was really the first time that you came into the spotlight. You're out there making hits, and I remember saying on the radio, I don't know who's driving Sam's car, but they are putting on a show. And then next thing we know, you're flying through the air. What was going on in that demolition?
Green flag came on, reverse to the floor. First, don't look back, don't look forward. Whoever's there is getting smoked.
So do you have any strategy?
Actually, the second hit was on Jardine in Dylan's car.
So you used Sam's car to hit her. I'm sure she would have loved that one.
Well, she got in the way.
That's totally fair. So from what it sounds like, do you have any sort of strategy, or are you just out there to put on a show and smash cars?
Full send. That's all I care about.
Whatever
to put a show, whatever happens.
For sure. So let's go ahead a little bit to the Halloween Spooktacular, because I know that was one of your other big moments in the figure 8 race. For the fans that maybe missed that one, what exactly happened on the first lap?
The first lap, DT there in the middle. Oh, I don't know. I put my hand up, and there was the 21 coming up, and we're going at it for a couple of weeks, and just never let go. Took him right out. He was telling he was going to take me out, so I had to stand up for myself, I guess. But we're all good. We talk about it after, and everything is done now. So
absolutely. So looking ahead, that's going to that's the past is the past. So looking forward, Easter Bunny Bash. This is the first time we've been on the track since that race in October. So, is there anything built up? Is there anything that needs to be let loose?
Oh yeah, needed to be let loose before Christmas came.
And then unfortunately, COVID-19 did not play into the favor. So that just lets things boil up even more. So you're going to be out there to put on a show, eh?
I'm there with the car 95% ready, music hooked up in it, Bluetooth. We're putting on a show.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about. The Easter Bunny Bash is certainly going to be a show. So, Mikey, we look at the preliminary races that are lined up. You see the Dash for Cash, you see the backup race, the Bump to Pass race. Is there any one of those races you're most looking forward to?
Bump to Pass.
That's going to be a fun one.
Favorite. Oh, yeah, that'd be the top one.
Denver, can you explain what that race is all about, this Bump to Pass race?
So essentially, it's just as the name implies, Dylan, is in order to pass the car in front of you, you got to bump them in some way, shape, or form. Now, you don't have to take them out. You just have to make contact with that car. So, if you don't make contact to get around the car, it's not technically a legal pass per se. So it doesn't get scored. So you have to make some sort of contact. And again, it doesn't have to be hard. Maybe that's some of the strategy. But I know some of you guys, Mikey, will probably be out there. The bumps aren't going to be so light, eh?
I heard rear end to pass. Am I right?
Well, that's up to interpretation. That is totally up to the driver interpretation. It's all about the show.
That's what I understood. Bump to pass, rear end to pass.
Well, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So that's going to be one of your favorites. Are you going to go out for the Dash for Cash? We talked to Norm, we talked to Sam. They say that, maybe the Dash for Cash isn't their favorite race. A lot of cars get tore up. What are your thoughts?
The only way you're going to get me in for the Dash for Cash if the Stash show up.
We even had Trenton out here saying we should do $50 for the Dash for Cash.
No?
10,
15 is good enough. Everybody's going already crazy for $10.
For sure. We saw them go pretty crazy last year a couple of times.
I mean, we can total 30 car in a race, but there's not 30 more to get on it.
Absolutely. And, that's these demolitions, it's about the survival. And I think that's what makes some of our demolition events unique, is that you have to qualify through these preliminary races, but not only do you have to qualify, you have to survive. I think it was Dale Earnhardt once said, to finish first, you first must finish. And we've seen last year a lot of guys get tore up in those preliminary races. So is there any sort of you had some rough luck in those?
More than once.
More than once. Same with Norm. Is there any key to survival, or is it just hope for the best?
Hold it right to the floor and go left and right.
Left and right. That's where do you make your right turns? Is that to?
Well, you and me both know. Maybe a little pivot over or pass him on the high side.
There you go.
Sometimes you got to turn around too. You never know.
Absolutely. We're looking at this weekend. There's 20 to 30 cars predicted. I don't know if you got a chance to look at the list of drivers, but there's a lot of big names out there. Is there any driver you've got you're going to be keeping your eye on that's going to be tough to beat?
It's going to be everybody's fair game, if you ask me. With the weather condition and all, everybody's in the same situation here.
So, when we talk to Norm has a bit of experience in the snow. Do you have any sort of experience, racing per se in the snow? I know as Canadians, a lot of us do have a bit of experience driving, but when it comes to racing, turning left, do you have any experience or anything like that?
Driving a Crown Vic around. We'll put it that way. Front wheel drive around all my life, trucks. I think we should be good with snow if we can get decent tires.
Absolutely. You see the weather. It seems like there will be some snow for sure, given that a little bit of snow expected overnight Friday. That'll certainly make things slick and interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
So, while there might only be 20 to 30 cars expected for this one, we saw 60 to 70 cars last year. What's it like being out there with a field of cars that is triple of what we're going to see this weekend?
It's crazy. You got no place to go. Everybody's everywhere. You never know what's going to happen.
We've certainly seen it get wild. And Dylan, you were out there for one of those big races, and I think you and Miky were in the same Dash for Cash race, and I don't know if you guys got into each other, but certainly were around each other. That was a wild one, Dylan.
He probably passed me like 4 times when I was only going around once in my little POS fan. But that was crazy, though. I mean, like, I started towards the back, Mikey. Do you remember that the fall shootout race, that first Dash for Cash, where you started up at?
Oh, I don't remember at all which one I started. I don't even remember which car was driving that one. I did so many this summer, and I'm getting confused.
I think this was the one, Miky. There's a picture right there. I forget. I don't know if it was
Cadillac.
The Cadillac. Yeah.
I started at the back, and I don't know. I hit one person, and it overheated right away. When I shifted in second, and it just blew. Couldn't see nothing. So it's like, well, we'll go in the pit, I guess.
Yeah.
Then I borrowed a couple of cars for the rest of the night and made a show out of it.
And that's what it's all about. And Dylan, you put on a show, to say the least.
I had to. I had nothing else. I overheated on lap 4, and I guess I did a little pose off for the Miramichi crowd. But Norm said it earlier. I mean, it's the crowd. You see the hundreds and thousands of people. Does that get you going, Miky, when you see all those fans going nuts for all the stuff you're doing on track?
That's the main reason I'm going for, is the fan, to see that smile on the kid's face. If we win, hey, that's a bonus. To go there and put out a show, that's the main thing.
These certainly have been some wild shows, and Saturday will be no different. And this one's going to be unique with all the snow and mud. But let's look forward, Miky. 2021, a big calendar of events lined up. What are you planning for the 2021 season?
Well, I'm hoping to do a couple in Miramichi and Shediac. Maybe the season, we'll see how it goes. Busy working in the summers, doing 80-hour week, and you know how's my routine on Derby. There's not much sleep involved, and we'll see how it goes.
So I want to ask you about one of the events. I think we'll have to bring Tim in here in just a second, because we had a question about it earlier. But we got the figure 8 trailer race lined up in June, where we're going to put some trailers on the back of some cars, and you guys are going to have some fun and put on a show. What do you think of that event coming up?
That one's going to be a fun. I heard Norm's being worried about me in the trailer. He must have forgot the thing that I'm moving house for a living. You can hook the side of the trailer you want behind me. We're going forward. And we're moving people out of my way with it. See ya.
Tim, what do we got on social media? Is there anything for Mr. Roussell?
Well, we'll spit back the question that Jay asked a little bit earlier. Miky, how much do we got to pay to see you hit the mud pit in the figure 8 trailer race?
Oh no, same thing as the payout, maybe.
Okay, so we'll dig deep. That's a Jay scary question. I know he's got deep pockets, and we were talking about things getting tore up earlier. He mentioned on Facebook about the Jonathan Dixon hitting the wall and hitting the speaker incident. So
that was a wild one.
Yeah, that was things getting tore up. We have a few more minutes on here, so if you're on Facebook, drop us a comment. We're live on the Speedway Miramichi page and Tim's Corner Motorsports as well, and let us know and give us some predictions. Who's going to win this thing on the weekend? Let us know. Hit that like button, hit that share button, and we'll get your name on the air.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tim. Dylan, you got anything there?
Yeah. So, Miky, do you have any other ambitions of doing other styles of racing except for demo? Like, would you think about getting in a bomber maybe at Miramichi?
I'm thinking about getting a bomber in Miramichi and Shediac, and possibly looking at the option and moving higher in class than bomber in the future. Go higher, less back accident, we'll call it like that.
Yeah, certainly fewer accidents out there in the bomber class and the mini stock, street stock, all the way up modified. Some we don't see the late models, the pro stocks and the sportsmans in Miramichi, but certainly a lot cleaner racing. But that's the whole point of the demo, is it's the show. Go out there and wreck. For anyone that maybe is thinking, watching the show, they haven't done a demo before, and they're thinking, I might like to try it. Why should they get out there and try a demolition at Speedway Miramichi?
It's the best place to take your anger out. You can take it out, hit anybody, and you don't have to hit the brake if somebody's cutting you off. You T-bone him. Out of my way you go.
So that's like almost like driving the plow truck with the snow, but you're just plowing your way through the cars, and you're putting on a show and having some fun.
It's a good anger relief right there.
Denver,
We've heard lots of guys say
Denver, what was I saying about people driving calm and having respect? I'm just hearing more and more. We're just going for
I think it
blood
depends on
and
who you
guts
ask,
now.
Dylan. I remember last year when we were on the, I guess in quarantine with COVID-19, when we first announced the return event in June with no fans. I think it was Marc-Andre Benoit came on Facebook and said, "Thank God you guys are having a demo, because if I don't smash a car soon, I'm going to smash my daily car into something." So
that's actually what I'm doing. I'm bringing the daily into Derby.
So what are you going to drive now next week, assuming that the car doesn't survive?
Oh, you don't need to worry about that one.
So that's a
I
problem
gotta
for
figure
later.
it out.
You got to
It's it's planned.
It's all planned. That's what we like to hear. I'm sure it's not the first time that someone has done that.
Well, yeah, probably not the first time.
I've heard some stories. We saw a couple cars last year. I think there was a 2015 Ford Edge or something out there, like cars that are still have the inspection stickers on them. Yeah. I guess there's no limits in terms of what goes on the track for a demo car.
Nope.
Now, do you have any preference? Dylan had the van, and he's not a fan of the vans. We're looking at something other than a van.
I like the van. I just want a van that actually works next time.
Well, Mikey, do you have any advice? What is the best cars for a demolition?
Impala, Taurus, Buick. And if you want to go in a van, you can get an Uplander. I had one.
Tim has an Impala, Dylan.
Don't go there.
Tim has an Impala. The pace car is an Impala.
Well, yeah, and I had.
Did I get the pace car as my second car?
Tim, you go. Mikey wants your car.
Mikey, I want to ask you, Denver kind of talked about the weather that could happen this weekend. You're looking at maybe some rain on Friday night and then maybe some snow on Saturday. We saw in Sydney in the first Enduro where one turn was completely bone dry. The other one was completely caked with ice. Going in as a driver, what would you like to see on the racetrack on the weekend? Would you like to see a little snow up there as a cushion? Would you like to see it ice? Would you like to see it bone dry? What would you like to see on Saturday when you pull in?
No, or bone dry would be the best way to go. Slush, you got no traction, no
Doesn't that
steering,
make that fun,
nothing. Oh
That makes
yeah,
it more
in a
fun, yeah.
way. In a way, if you can't get going, it's not that much fun though. You get like 20 cars stuck at the starting line on slush. Know what I mean?
Someone will push though. Barry will have the
someone
enforcer
will.
out there.
The enforcer. Let's go.
Now, Denver, there's one question you haven't asked Mikey yet.
Which one's that, Tim?
Well, we talked to our previous guest. We talked to Norm and Sam about if you were having to go into the pumpkin race, blindfold race, whatever race that you have a passenger with.
Yeah.
Would there be one driver that you wouldn't go with? And both of them said you. So
Me.
I'll ask you the question. If you had one driver that you would say, no, I'm not riding along with you in one of those races, blindfold, pumpkin, whatever, who would it be?
Well, it sounds like we got some good friends there blaming it on me. But the thing they didn't thought about with their head, the one I'm not getting in with, is Taz. I ain't going in the car with him. As soon as it hits her there, it's a show right there. I ain't going close to him. That would be the worst.
So that's Mikey's answer. He's not getting in the car with Taz, and I'm sure some of Taz's, can we call it fans? I think Jonathan Dixon's a fan.
You can call it Taz, you can call it Conrad. Make sure to message him that he knows about it. He answered a little angel face.
By the way, Trenton Silliker says his car will push. Don't worry.
I'm sure it would. I'm sure that thing is a tank.
I'm hoping so.
And Jan said ice would be interesting. We saw it up in Sydney. Ice on one corner was interesting. 3 and 4 being a little bit dry, I think kind of gave everybody a sense of false hope. Going into 1 and 2, it kind of made everything slick. It made it interesting for the fans. Denver, you don't have to drive the race car. Dylan, you don't have to drive it.
Car going into the wall and curve first turn there.
Yeah, I guess Sydney doesn't have a wall, so I guess that kind of helps too. At least in 1 and 2. So I guess that kind of helps that side of things. But either way, I think it should be interesting on Saturday, whatever weather conditions we get.
Absolutely, and like you said, we've said to Norm and Sam, Mikey, you guys are the best demo drivers out there. So whatever the conditions that get thrown at you guys and girls, you're going to be able to adapt and put on a show regardless.
Oh, we'll figure a way. If it doesn't go forward, it's gonna go reverse.
We saw that before. I think it was Matthew Brito does a better job in the figure eight race going backwards sometimes than what he has done forwards. I actually think he turned faster laps backwards than some of our mini stocks do going forwards. So some of you guys know
when he's running the Crown Vic.
Absolutely. That was
They
impressive.
got 2 gear in reverse.
Absolutely. Miky, Easter Bunny Bash, why should the fans come out? If someone's sitting here listening or watching, or if they're watching tomorrow,
we have a guaranteed show, and there's no, what else is there to do? Sit home, nothing to do. Come over and come watch this show. We'll make it happen for you guys.
So when they're out there, they're going to know to watch for car number 369. That's going to be one of the cars out there putting on a show, right?
That's the plan.
That's the plan. That's what we like to hear.
Hold on,
in the
Denver.
preview, it's going to be
Denver,
fully visible.
you mentioned one thing though. Why the number change? Weren't you 758 last year? Why the number change to 369?
Oh, they sent it for a change. New number, nobody had it. I wanted to go with 57, but it was been used before. So I know this one, nobody got it before, so I'm going to just make this one now.
Sam Jardine gave a little chirp on Facebook, by the way. So surprised he didn't say me, really, always making fun of my driving. I thought she didn't have a Facebook.
She can't run the
anymore.
fine, Singusher. I ain't getting in a car with her.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I kind of agree. I think we're kind of on the same train of thought.
Started, they'll finish it.
Alice Gautreau and Angela Newman are watching too. Want to say hello to them.
Like you said, Sam apparently brought Facebook back. She, I guess the extinguisher didn't work. That's not the first time.
Oh, somebody messaged her yesterday to go. She told her to go look at it.
Well, I don't know if you heard, but there's a challenge. We know that Sam won 4 or 5 of the Powder Puff races last year. Well, the challenge now is she has to start at the back on Saturday. So she has to start dead last, and whether it be 10 cars, whether there's 20 cars, she's going to have to pass every single car to win. So that should put on a show. That's going to force Sam to put on a show.
I'll make my car put a brake in front of her. I'll put somebody in the car to slow her down.
Are we going to put Brittany Hoyt in Mikey's car then, Tim?
I mean, do you have a Powder Puff entrant for your car?
I had one, but that's certainly something we can talk about Saturday at the track.
Well, there you go. That'll be something Saturday at the racetrack, and I'm sure she's still looking for one.
I'm sure we're gonna reach something.
I'm sure we can figure something out for her.
Oh yeah.
Brett Patterson's watching too. Want to say hello to Brett. He watches every one of these. I know he's chomping at the bit for Ricky Cashel on Monday.
Yes, that's going to be exciting with Ricky on Monday. But we're going to start to wind this up, Mike. Yeah, I think we got Barry in the waiting room, Tim, do we?
We're going to give her a go. We're going to give it a try. And if Miky can figure out this technology and Barry can, at least Mikey's got one up on him. So
absolutely. Well, Miky.
Barry made it.
He just broke our show. Hold on.
Just broke our show.
Hold on here. There we go. We'll get to you in a bit. You don't jump the gun. There we go. We get the Spring Smash season opener on the screen. You can bring us back, Paul. There we go. Leave it to the track owner to break the show. We'll get to Barry in a second.
Wasn't he our technology engineer?
He was. Yeah. So he's even now, I think.
He's even. Well, Miky. While we wrap this up. Who do you have to thank for making your career possible?
I got to thank Paul Boudreau, Boudreau Service Station in Memron Cook, sponsors there, and my boys Denis LeBlanc from LP LeBlanc Cottage and Building Raising and DNR Snow Removal, and there's Mathieu Brideau too from Tracadie with last year help. Without all of them and Remy Savoy, there's no way we could have made it happen last year. So big thanks to them.
So Miky, I have one final question. We know you like to put on a show. You always put on a show. If you were to win, say you win the Easter Bunny Bash, how are you going to celebrate that win?
Something's getting hit. It's either the mud pit, the ramp, or wall.
So it's going to be a full send victory if you're able to pull it off on Saturday.
Yeah. If my car is the last one running, the wall's going to take it out.
That's what we like to hear. Well, Miky, best of luck on Saturday. We appreciate you hopping on the show and joining us here tonight and previewing the Easter Bunny Bash, and we look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
No problem. Looking forward to seeing you guys too.
Awesome. That is Miky Roussell. He'll be driving number 369 on Saturday at the Easter Bunny Bash. And we thank him, Sam, and Norm for joining us tonight. And you see on the screen, after we get the Easter Bunny Bash in this weekend, we have our technically our summer season opener. It's the Spring Smash and the TCM Bandolero Blast Off. That'll be coming up on Saturday, May 15th, one of the first races in the province of New Brunswick for the summer season. And Tim's Corner TV will be live that day. Tim's Corner will be at the track, pending no changes to the Atlantic bubble. So we hope that goes through as planned. But you'll definitely want to be here either in the stands or live on TCM TV on May 15th. The Spring Smash and the TCM Bandolero Blast Off. And now we have joining us the I guess the boss, we'll call him, part-time sound engineer, full-time track owner, part-time enforcer driver. He gets to deal with everyone from me and Doug to Miky, Norm, Sam, and all the guys and gals that take part. It's Speedway Miramichi owner Barry Richard. Barry, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So I'm going to ask you the same thing that I asked you on Saturday when we're shoveling out 4 feet of snow. Whose idea was this?
It's a combination of mine and yours, and I'm not going to take all the blame. We're going to just say it's an idea that's been passed around a few times, and as people have noticed the last few years, Speedway Miramichi is up for trying just about anything. So if the fans want to see it, we're going to do our best to make it happen for them.
Well, I think that's an understatement, willing to try anything, because really, truly, there's nothing that's not on the table, I think, sometimes. But I know you've had a busy week. The weather has been a challenge. It's not very often you see 20-degree weather in March when you're trying to prepare for a winter demolition. So how's the track look? How's conditions? What are you expecting for this weekend?
Well, I'm hoping the rain turns to little bit cooler temperatures and we get some snow on the track. I'm looking at the 5 centimeters they're calling for overnight and 5 in the morning. That's going to make the track pretty nice and, different for the drivers, let's say. We did plow until we went orange. We had the track plowed out and we sort of gave up on it when we went orange with COVID. So once we went back to yellow, it was a challenge to get caught up. We had couple feet of snow left on the track, but then as you said, in March and we're getting 16 and 18 degree days, so most of it's paved with some snow packed on, so we're hoping for some extra snow to fall Friday to make it a true winter demo.
So what are you most looking forward to about this event? It's the first time we've ever done this. There's a great field of cars, lots of veterans, some young guns, some newcomers that we've never seen before. We got some exciting events lined up. We were going to try a burnout competition. We don't know how that's going to work. It's going to be interesting, but it's all part of it. They wanted to do a burnout competition by popular demand. There's one on the schedule, but what are you most looking forward to on Saturday?
The whole show, to be honest with you, right from opening the gate in the morning and seeing everybody come in all energized and looking to go have some fun right till the end of the day when, you're leaving with a smile on your face. That's the goal, right? And everything in between, talking to the drivers, talking to the fans, and like Sam said earlier, it's like a big family, right? So, we might not always get along. There's tempers at flare and, we might have choice words for each other, but at the end of the day, we're all there for the same reason and we all get along. So, it's the family feel, I guess, of the whole sport. It doesn't matter if it's demo, street stock, any type. So the whole atmosphere is why I do it and why I love it, right?
So Dylan, what do you think? We've had Sam and Norm on here saying that people are relatively calm, show respect. We had Miky on here saying that it's all about going out to take people out. Barry says it's a bit of a mix of both. So Dylan, your take on the demolition, the atmosphere with all the different drivers.
I don't know what to think. All I know is I didn't have a target on my head when I raced Barry. So I thought it was calm on my end, but then again, I was driving a slower van. But for me going there the first time at the day of eights to work with TCM on the camera, Barry, I mean, I'm just so impressed with the ship that you're running there and how it's for the fans. And that's so important. I think that's something that sometimes tracks or any kind of owner for any business may forget sometimes. It's the customers. They're always number one, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, thanks for noticing. That's we strive for that. We like to try to make it a family-oriented atmosphere, and we like everybody to have fun, right? If there's something massively, bad going on or a little bit of arguing and going on, we try to calm that down as quick as we can and move on.
So Dylan, I want to go back. You came here for the first time last August. I remember during that show, you're on the camera, and my girlfriend Meredith comes down, and I don't know what she came. Must have had a break. She comes down and looks at me and says, "Dylan hates this, and he's never coming back to Miramichi." It's word for word. She said that you were absolutely disgusted by what you saw, and then 2 months later, you're in a demo car. So I take it.
I remember this story, by the way.
Yeah, I take it you didn't hate it as much as what she thought.
Okay, let's set the record straight. So I've been working in radio and TV for a while. When you're a camera person and you're standing for a few hours, it can put a toll on your mind and your body. When we had that backwards race that took 2 hours after people kept flipping, that's when I was in my mind saying, I hate this. No more backwards racing. But then I was, I've been a racing fan forever, and I've wanted to get behind the wheel. And just being in the announcer booth it's pretty hard, and not having a garage or anything. But then we heard about the demo derby and how Miramichi sometimes offers cars to buy, like kind of a pay driver. Hey, here's the car, come and get it. So when I heard about that, I said that would be pretty fun to do. And then I got the opportunity to drive that Pontiac Montana, and I couldn't pass up on something like that. So I put the bad feelings behind me.
It was a job to get the belt on, eh?
Never got on. That was the thing. We tried, and I mean, there's so many people that tried helping, and I felt so bad because I felt like a kid that was helpless. I couldn't do anything. But the most important thing was I got on the track for a couple laps, and I got in the figure eight. So I mean, and that was the family atmosphere we were talking about. When I rolled in after I overheated, and even before, the amount of people that were just willing, hey, what do you need? Let's try and get this started. And they helped me change a tire and all this. And that wasn't just for me. That was for so many drivers, Barry. It's a big family atmosphere, helping each other out, right?
Yeah, everybody wants to see everybody hit the track, and they'll do anything they can to help each other. And, once you hit the track and the green flag drops, they're trying to take you out. But once you get back in the pits, they're going to help you fix it to get you back out there, right? So it's an interesting atmosphere, I guess we'll call it.
So Barry, I have something to ask you. I don't know if you were watching earlier or not, but it's all about the show. We dropped a challenge on Sam. We had an anonymous message this week come through.
Yes.
Someone putting up a challenge saying that Sam can't win unless she starts at the front. So now Sam has to start at the back of the Powder Puff race. What do you think is going to happen there?
She's either going to make it to the front real fast, or she's going to take a lot of cars out trying. And I think it's going to be pedal to the floor, and whatever happens. So we'll up the ante on that one for her because she was so gracious to accept that challenge. We'll put a 50 on that.
Oh, there we go. Barry's throwing some money down.
So if she gets it, we'll throw that on.
So Sam, if you're watching, Barry, there's money on the line now. So no pressure, but it's going to be a show. And that's what it's all about. It's all about the show. And, with this event, it's a little different, Barry. We typically do stock car racing and demo in the same show. And that's what makes Speedway Miramichi so unique. It's a full event. It's not a 3-hour show. We try not to run all night, but, it is a longer show because it's 2 shows in one. It's a full event. This one's a little differently. Obviously, we're not going to put modifieds or street stocks out there in the wintertime. So it's just demolition. So for someone that maybe hasn't been here before, it's just demolition. It's a nice short show to come get a feel for what's going on at the track.
Yeah, just being demolition, it may be, a little shorter than usual, but I don't think you're going to be lacking in any of the entertainment aspect just because it's a little shorter show. You're going to get your fill, whether it's an 1.5 to 2 hour show. It's, it's one of those things where you're going to get a lot more action than you would, spending big money to go to the movie theater. Like it's, you're going to get your fill for sure.
Well, Barry, how does it feel that you run the track that's known as the demolition track in the Maritimes. When someone says Demo Derby, they usually think Miramichi. That's got to be pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it's a feather in the cap for sure. I mean, it's nice to be good at that, and I got to admit, I don't do it alone. It's a team effort for sure. Last year was huge success. A major part of that is Denver. Got to say thanks to Tim for sure for all he does for us and promoting us, and Doug Matchett was a huge help last year, and all my family and everybody like that. So I may be the name on the deed, but it's definitely not just me, right? There's a lot of people that help make that work. So it's the people that show up whenever you call and they need, you need an extra hand, they're there. Like, Denver last weekend, we walked in and 4 feet of snow in the stands, and, we just shoveled like crazy, and we put a post up looking for some help, and we had, Sandy, he's a minister from the New Jersey church, come up and volunteered a few hours to help us. We're hoping he's going to say one for us for the weekend, so we have a good weekend. My aunt and uncle. It takes a lot, right? It takes everybody helping. Putting a race on like this, the expenses and stuff are huge. So wherever you can save and help, that's a big deal. Being the demo name, we pride ourselves in that for sure. I know when I first bought the track, I watched the first demo before I bought it. I was watching it when Jason Carnahan owned the track, and he was gracious enough to let me come watch him run a race before I bought it. And I can remember standing on the entrance to the track when the demo started, and I was much like you, looking through the camera, just freaking when somebody's car caught fire or somebody rolled over. It was like, oh my God, like we got to get out there, right? And after 6 years of doing this, it really changes the aspect, right? Like if you see Miky going in the air 10 feet and it's like, yeah, it's Miky, he's good, or somebody's car catches fire or rolls over, it's like, yeah, we're getting there, but they're good. Like you don't panic as much because these guys know what they're doing, right? So it's we're known for demos because of the drivers and the caliber of drivers that we have on the track. It's we run a nice show, but they make it that much easier.
You got to safety aspect there too, because I remember there was a pretty nasty wreck in a modified race last year where the safety crew, they were on that real quick and made sure that driver was okay. So you say like, oh, well, if it's Miky wrecks, whatever. But with the other racing too, safety is number one, and you guys were on that real quick too.
Yeah, and it's not it's Miky whatever. It's that these guys know what they're doing. They know how to take a hit. Like in a regular race situation, people are not looking for. I mean, everybody that's a race fan will tell you that they don't like, demolition derby. But if you ask anybody watching a big NASCAR race what they're more excited for, it's the big wreck, right? So it's sort of a contradiction, but you see more of it in the demo. So I guess it's a little more laid back. They intentionally hit that person, or they intentionally, they knew what they were getting into type deal, right? In a race car, it's sort of an unexpected deal. So, but the safety crew we have is great. We have great medics on scene. We always have lots of people around that are actually trained. My mother-in-law is an LPN. My wife's usually around. She's an RN. Dougie's a first responder. We have all kinds of people that go to the races that are there, and people's safety is number one for sure.
And Trent too. Trent's been phenomenal, especially I think back there to last year, that August race when, it was the middle of a heat wave and we had some people pass out, and he handled the situation unbelievably and just took control of everything. And it's really people like that. Like you said, it's a team effort. There's so many people, and everyone that's at Speedway Miramichi knows what they're doing and has their job figured out. And when their time is needed, when we need them, they take control of the situation and do a great job.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. No, Trent's excellent at the job. Knows how to read the situation and look after it. And all our medics that we've ever had there were very, very smart in their field. And, our cleanup crew along with that, Willis and all the guys that work with Willis, like they're the first one to jump in the truck and they're right there, and they have experience in that stuff as well, so that makes it that much easier for the medics to do their job.
Absolutely. Barry, let's talk 2021 before we wrap up. It's going to be a big season. We have 7 events after this one, I think, on the schedule, and lots of interesting events. Is there anything you're looking forward to in particular?
Definitely looking forward to the trailer race. You'd be crazy not to be looking forward to that. That's going to be unreal. All our demolitions, we always try to do a good theme. The big street stock race, the 100 lap very best fall shootout, that's always a big deal for me. It's an even bigger deal this year because we have the 5 race series going with all the tracks, which is a huge step forward. We thought of it, last year we mentioned it and talked back and forth. It was a little late in the season. So I'm glad we're making that happen this year with, with Oyster Bed, Shediac, 660 and Petty and ourselves. We're all holding that 100 lap race, which is going to be, awesome. And our race is the final race in that series. So we're hoping to have a great turnout and the owners from all the other tracks join us and help us present that. So I'm looking forward to that one. I take it one at a time. I love them all. So don't ask me that Friday night before a race if I love it or not. It's usually a bit stressful. This week's been a lot of long hours and no sleep, but it's all worth it at the end of the day.
Well, we're about to wrap this up, Barry. We're going to give you the final word. Easter Bunny Bash. It's the first time we're ever doing anything in the winter in terms of demolition at Speedway Miramichi. I think it's been a while. Sydney Speedway did it in Nova Scotia, but I think it's been a while since we've seen anything like this, even in New Brunswick. So it's definitely going to be a historic event. But for the fans out there watching that maybe are thinking, do I want to go? Why should they make the trip to Speedway Miramichi this weekend?
Well, you won't be disappointed. That's one thing for sure. Every demolition derby is always a crowd pleaser. There's always action. There's always something that everybody's going to love. There's not a whole lot at this time of year that goes on, so it's throwing a different aspect on something that people see all the time in Miramichi anyway. It's going to be challenging, so it's going to be interesting for the fans for sure.
Well, Barry, we thank you for taking the time to join us on here tonight to help us get a little preview for the Easter Bunny Bash. It's going to be a big event, and I know everyone's looking forward to it. And I know you should go get some sleep because I know you've had a busy week, and I'm sure you're exhausted right now.
A few more hours yet to go.
Well, thanks, Barry. And we'll be talking to you this weekend, and we look forward to the Easter Bunny Bash at Speedway Miramichi this Saturday. And we're going to bring back in, I believe, Tim Terry to close it out. Tim, this has been fun. Lots to talk about demo. We had some of the best personalities in racing, in demolition racing at least. And, I know you guys wish you could be with us this weekend. I know you would be here with some cameras, and Dylan would be here with hopefully maybe a car, maybe wheeling a car, but Higgs couldn't pull off the whatever bubble we want to talk about. But we won't get into politics. But Tim, your thoughts?
Yeah, this was great. I had fun sitting back and listening to you guys chat with Norm and Sam and Miky and Barry. It's been a blast here tonight. Excited for Monday night though. Don't want to understate the weekend in Miramichi, because if you are in the province of New Brunswick, you want to get there and enjoy it. I can't wait to get up there in May, but don't understate Monday. We've got Randy Miller on the show, which is a big name in the fact that he's a pro stock driver, former most popular driver winner. We've got Ricky Cashel on the show on Monday night. I cannot wait to get Ricky on here. He's, I think, the only driver to win a feature race in the Maritimes that's still active in the last 6 decades, back to the 70s. He started racing in 74. So that's going to be exciting for us. That's going to be great. We got some sim racing going on next week as well. I want to thank Paul Strickland Jr. for being here, taking time out on his off night to join us. And Dylan, final thoughts. What are you most looking forward to? Who do you think is going to win on Saturday?
Oh, I mean, the thing with Miky, he was not coy about really what he was going to do. He's a very straightforward guy, it seemed like. He says, I'm going to wreck someone. I'm going to drive right through you. So he would be my favorite, I think. He seems very confident, but we had a lot of heavy hitters on the show with Sam as well in the Powder Puff. I wish I could be there. I wish we could be there to film, and I would 100% hop in a van or a car if I'd be able to. I'm sad we can't be there, but I know everyone's going to ball, and you need to go. I was a guy, like, I wasn't too sure about demo racing, and like, well, you see it on TV, whatever. No, you need to do it. You need to go. You need to watch it at least. It's a blast.
Yeah, as long as the backup race doesn't take an hour and a half, right?
Well, that's the only thing. But, I mean, with the ice, it should make it go quicker, right?
Something like that. They'll be going quicker, maybe. Denver, you've been instrumental in putting this on tonight, and as well as Saturday, as Barry mentioned. What are your final thoughts going into Saturday?
Well, I'm really looking forward to it, Tim. This is something we announced back in December. It was supposed to be in January, but the situation with COVID-19 in the province of New Brunswick, it just didn't allow us to get to that point. And then, for the last 2 months, we got to watch as Sydney Speedway hosted their winter events that they put on. And, we had to sit here anxiously awaiting our opportunity. And now that opportunity is finally here. And it's going to be a great show. These guys, like we've said all night, they are some of the best out there. They know how to put on a show, and they will make it worth your while. This is a new challenge for them, but that's what it's all about. When you have the best of the best, you see it with the NASCAR Cup Series this weekend at Bristol. They put dirt on the track. Those are the best some of the best drivers in the world. They're challenging them with the dirt. Well, we're challenging our drivers at Speedway Miramichi with some snow, some ice. Heck, we might even see some dirt. We might see some mud. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining, and you will not want to miss it. It starts, gates open at 11:30 on Saturday. We encourage everyone to come early. Space is limited, COVID-19, all the capacity limitations, but come early, get your seat. You will not want to miss it. You will not regret it at Speedway Miramichi.
It's going to be something you're going to want to watch. Be there if you're in the province of New Brunswick. If not, keep tabs of the Speedway Miramichi social media, and we'll see who comes out on top after Saturday. We wish everybody a safe race, and I'm sure there's going to be some hard hits, as Miky and Norm and Sam kind of alluded to a little bit earlier. That's going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank all of our marketing partners, Paul Strickland Jr. at Vidane TV, and of course, Denver and Dylan did a phenomenal job here this evening as host. We invite you back on Monday here on Tim's Corner Motorsports, because we are going to have Ricky Cashel and Randy Miller on the show. And then Wednesday, we return with some iRacing with the TCM Weekly iRacing Series. They had their week off this week with Bristol Dirt last night for the iRacing Pro Invitational. That does it for us here this evening. Thank you all for watching. My name is Tim Terry. Until next time, keep the hammer down, and we'll see you at the track.